Hello, macthethird here. I just wanted to welcome you to this video that will be the beginning of a series of D&D campaigns DM'd by my friend Tyler. In this video, we're just going to be doing a little recap. Tyler, our DM, is going to be talking about what's happened in the story, and each of us are going to be introducing our characters. There are a total of 4 of us, including one DM played character. Stay tuned. Soon after this video is released, hopefully there will be a video of our first campaign, which has been recorded already at this point. One thing I would like to mention is please excuse the dog. Please excuse the dog. She's a good girl, but she just wants to be friends with everyone, and the couch is kind of one of the central points of this recording studio, as it were. So if you see like shots cutting in and out with the dog on and off the table, expect that there were long pauses where the dog was making lots of noise and stuff. Her name is Elba. She's really sweet. You'll probably see lots of her in videos because she likes to make herself known. Other than that, I hope you enjoy the video and stick around and check out more content.
Howdy, my name is Ishmael Martin, and I will be playing the character Gilbert Bloodfallen for this campaign. Gilbert is a young Eladrin turned vampire by someone he does not know. A little bit about the backstory, which he also doesn't know. Since he really doesn't know, I kind of wrote the story into where I can leave that up to the person playing Titus Glasswell to give a little background into that. But around when Gilbert was 90, and he's an Eladrin, so he's just technically a child by that point. There was an incident where a follower of Sirig, the Mad King, for those of you who know what that is, a follower came and destroyed his town and took a liking to Gilbert and turned him into a vampire. So Gilbert's memory starts 3 years ago in the marshes, where the name escapes me. I think you'll hear it in the character introductions for Titus, where he is found and they go adventuring together, and Gilbert really maintains the persona of a child. He's very naive in a lot of ways, and he just kind of goes with whatever Titus or another party member, Frederick, the clumsy, says to do. He's really not a decision maker, and he has no ambitions. He's just whatever we're doing, he's fine to do. For as the type of fighter Gilbert is he uses a rapier. A pretty strong rapier for the level we are. We're around level 4. It's about to be level 5s right now, and he has a legendary borderline artifact weapon that it brutal criticals on 19 and 20, and he has once a day he can drink the blood from someone he hits and have that HP goes to his HP because he can't use potions and whatnot. So he's he's a cheaty character. He's also has an ability to where if an attack on him lands and they're within 10 feet of him, he can use a reaction to make them make a wisdom save, and they have to pass his save DC, which is an 18 for now, and if they don't, they miss. So you can see how that can cause some frustration for the DM every now and then in what we face. And okay, so the Fanger class, the one I'll be using is more of a custom one I saw online that I got the discretion of the DM to use. Starting at level 3, I was able to start using spells, but only a specific list of spells. The spell list is very finite, and the blood spells go from levels 1 through 5. And so right now as a level 4, I'm only able to use levels 1 and 2, and that's only things like Bane and compel, duel, and things of that nature. I don't really use spells in my character, except maybe if it comes to a point where me fighting with my weapon is just not advantageous to the situation, and maybe we'll see later on, I suppose. A couple of other things. I also have these things are vampire feats that you can choose instead of bonuses to your con and such. You can choose these feats. So Gilbert has already at level 4, because he fulfilled the prerequisites for it. We walk amongst you, so he takes no damage from ending his turn in direct sunlight. So he's already kind of gets breaking the rules at this point. But at the same time, he'll always and forever have 2 hit dice total, and he can't go through running water. He has to be invited into every building that the adventurers go through, unless he takes defeat uninvited guests, which I'm not going to take. I think it's a little bit funnier if he has to be invited in everywhere we go. He has a spawn that hasn't been named yet due to my laziness, but I'm sure that'll be solved later. And the spawn, the only difference between us two is the spawn can't really end his turn in sunlight, but we haven't run into a situation yet to where we have been in sunlight. We've been kind of in the dark mostly, and I'm sure we're going to have to make adjustments with that spawn to make sure that if we are in sunlight, he's either covered or such. Once a day, there's a feature, because I chose the Beguiler vampire. There's, I believe, 3 knights, feral, and Beguiler. And the Beguiler, once a day, I think my range is 90 feet. I can look at someone and try to charm them, and they're under my control. Not control, but they're compelled to follow my direction for 24 hours. And it may come up. I don't foresee me abusing that. I probably should as a vampire, but I'm kind of bad as an evil character, which I'm not evil, at least not yet. But I have a feeling there's going to be a point where it's inevitable, and that's just going to have to happen. Yeah, that's my cheaty character that I would not be using if I didn't feel, well, one, if this was a conventional campaign where, vampire would not be allowed in this situation. But I feel we're going to be, if I'm allowed to have this, we're probably going to be facing some crazy things, and I look forward to seeing what those things are. That's Gilbert, and I hope you enjoy his character and what he becomes, or what he's allowed to at least, and thank you.
Hi, I'm Allison. I'm going to be playing Adiza in this campaign. She's a devotion paladin. Her background, she's the haunted one. She can cast some spells that do some pretty neat things. She can lay on hands. She has 20 points for that to either help herself or help other people in the campaign. And she can cast other spells with that as well, to smite, to cause more damage. Her background, she was born at home. She was raised by a single father and had a comfortable lifestyle, living in a large house. And she hears spirits, Bahamut, trying to get through to her. Her personal goal is peace, and she fights so that future generations will not have to. Her symbol is an upraised open hand, indicating her preference for diplomacy over combat. Her nemesis is a dragon Tiamat whose servant's dog your steps, a high priest who sees you as a misguided fool and wants you to abandon her religion. Her traits, the first one, she expects danger around every corner, and she spends money freely and lives life to the fullest, knowing that tomorrow she might die. And she kills monsters to make the world a safer place and to exorcise her own demons. There's evil in her, she can feel it, and it must never be set free, hence the name, the Haunted One. Her flaw is that she assumes the worst in people. Her harrowing event, her family has a history of practicing the dark arts. She dabbled once and felt something horrible clutch at her soul, whereupon she fled in terror. So Adiza is 27 years old. She's a neutral good protector, ASMR Haunted One, adventuring as a paladin. She became a paladin because one of her ancestors left a holy quest unfulfilled, so she intended to finish that work. She has long black silky hair, blue eyes. She's 7'2", very skinny, and she has very powerful armor, black armor, like her haunted soul.
Alright, so my name is Tyler. I am the DM, as well as playing Titus, the summoner. Titus is a half-elf summoner from the town of Celestia. It is currently the only area in this country not taken over by the Empire, as the Empire cannot find it. So Titus has been raised here by his family his entire life. He is a long line of priests and priestesses. His mother was the priestess before him, and he was prophesied to become the next priest, to travel to the 13 temples to gain the power and to do some pretty cool stuff that I don't want to say to give away anything about the campaign. He hasn't really done anything interesting other than befriend the Eidolon Ixtoli, who is a large, wiry creature with pretty sharp claws. Every few levels he gains a new arm and new claws and can attack a lot more. It's pretty cool. He does some pretty cool stuff. In his travels, Titus met a young vampire named Gilbert, who he took under his wing and kind of helped him to rebuild a life as a vampire in Celestia. He's not very tall, as half-elves are. He's got white hair, and he's got blue eyes. He wears robes most of the time. There's not a lot special about him. He does have some brands and tattoos going down both arms. One of them in particular is the symbol to summon Ixtoli. When he summons Ixtoli, the brand glows a bright blue, and it stays glowing bright blue for the period that Ixtoli is summoned. Currently, the Empire's trying to kill him, so that's where we are with Titus. Okay, so the Summoner class is a custom class. Basically, once a spellcaster befriends an Eidolon and forms a pact with them, they learn to summon him. And once they do, that Eidolon's brand is tattooed onto the summoner, and that is the pact. So that's what happened to Titus when he was younger. He got caught up in like the spiritual arts. He learned of this celestial world where Eidolons roam, and he befriended Ixtoli. And the two of them, they grow stronger together. So Titus, he has a weapon that's been passed down his family. Every priest that travels to each temple, they are given the weapon Armoxy. It is a shape-shifting weapon, actually. It grows more powerful with each deity that he's prayed to. It's actually an artifact weapon, so it gives him some pretty cool abilities. None of which have been awakened yet, but in due time. Its only power is to shapeshift between sword, shield, and staff, which each one giving him different benefits. So, right now, In our first session, he prayed to one god, and that is the only one that he's prayed to so far. But we're on our way to our second god, the god of chaos. That ought to be fun. Titus has never met any of these gods. The only god that he's actually ever talked to is the god of time from our first session, named Horologium. So, yeah, he's a pretty cool dude. It's kind of hard to read, for sure. So
He's in Spanish.
yes,
Okay.
German. Yeah.
Hello there. macthethird, proprietor of this channel. Michael, to those of you who know me, and to those of you who don't, I'm still Michael. I'm playing the character Frederick Thornberry the Clumsy, a halfling wizard, diviner wizard, who is based off of a little YouTube video I found talking about like re-rolling and having a character who can kind of like change his luck all the time. So Frederick is really cool. First of all, he has a cute little southern drawl because, I don't know, I'm a terrible person. And by cute, I mean really bad because I can't do a southern accent very well. Meh. So his things is he has like the halfling luck, which gives him like advantage on saving throws against being frightened. He has lucky, which means that he can like reroll natural ones all the time, so he very rarely will he crit fail. He has portents, which means that he has like two like predetermined rolls that he can get during the day, whether it's for himself or for someone else. And he has the lucky feat, which lets him re-roll any skill check, ability modifier, or attack roll 3 times a day. So he can. So the way that I'm role playing him and the way that I'm having Tyler do things is that he's like accidentally-ing himself into lots of different situations, like do a firebolt attack and like almost miss, but like as he's firing, he like slips and his aim becomes true and he actually hits what he's aiming at. Things like that. You know, it makes for a pretty interesting dynamics. You know, he's a little uppity, definitely awkward in social situations. He's not afraid to like say things to people who he might otherwise find intimidating. He's not intimidated by most people or most things. You know, whether that's like a boss, you know, as you'll see in our in the video that will be coming out after this one, the hot touch monk that he kind of just melts off to because he can. He doesn't really have too much for a backstory. He accidentally himself all the way through wizarding school and thinks very highly of himself. He doesn't realize that he's clumsy. He thinks that the nickname is, you know, the epithet is just whatever. He doesn't realize that he is actually clumsy, and that's why he's called that. He has lots of middle names, as you'll find out. More on that later, I'm sure. That's one of those things that doesn't just go away. That's pretty much it. I mean, he doesn't have like a crazy backstory. He doesn't have a haunted past or anything. He's out here to have some fun, and some fun he will have. Hello there, future macthethird here. I just wanted to let you know that we're going to be stopping the video here, just because I thought it was getting to be a little too long, and I didn't want to blather on with all of this stuff. So I'm going to be releasing another video that actually has the recap of our first couple of sessions shortly after this one, possibly at the same time. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will leave a link to the next video down in the video description. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around.